A couple months ago, I began to play around with an arpeggiated sequence on the piano, and I decided to share the idea on Instagram. Sharing my music has become a way that I've tried to overcome insecurities and fears that I've long held onto with my art. However, in the act of throwing my music out into the world for others to connect with or critique, I've discovered that I have a small yet growing community of believers, supporters, and even collaborators. One of these people, Catherine Perry, commented that she felt like it sounded like a love song about God's love for us, the love of a romantic partner, or the love between parent and child. This instantaneously resonated with me from each perspective, and from that moment, I was inspired lyrically. What evolved was this song called When the Lights Go Down. When the Lights Go Down is another very personal song about my literal walk of faith, a mental shift to focus on giving thanks in all things and finding hope in all seasons. I particularly felt this need when I began to experience darkness. Have you ever awoken in the middle of the night with a racing heart and worry? I have, more than once. At first, I accepted it as some kind of misfortune or curse. I began to believe all kinds of lies. And then, about 3.5 years ago, a transformation happened. I was sick of all the lies and deceit I was hearing in my head. It was affecting me mentally and physically. I desperately needed peace. I needed a light. At that moment, I committed myself to the idea of embracing quiet time on my quest for peace. This turned into daily walks with God. But it wasn't that simple or direct. At first, my quiet time was spent listening to music, something I obviously love as a songwriter and performer. But although the music channeled inspiring messages, I was searching for a firmer foundation. So I tried the Calm app. This was very cool. I love the soothing voice of the narrator, and I learned a lot about accepting and responding to anxiety. But still, this wasn't the cure I was looking for. And then enter Deepak Chopra. Never had I found my heart rate slow down to such beats per minute. But again, though I learned some really interesting tools and knowledge of how the mind, body, and soul are interconnected, this was not a total fix. Then I found this dusty book in my bookshelf called Jesus Calling by Sarah Young, perhaps a gift I received years before but never opened. Curious, I began reading it. One day turned into 1 week, which turned into 1 month, and before I knew it, I had read every page over the course of a year, more often than not on my daily walk. I cannot believe the strength that I received from the words I read. For the first time in my life, I began to feel a personal relationship with God. I've since begun to reach out and touch faith more broadly, worrying less about what outcomes will be and trying to refrain from leaning too far into my own understanding of life and its circumstances. This has led to other changes. First, I'm working on my patience by trying to live life step by step and not expecting instant gratification or a particular result. Second, I'm attempting to let go of what I think things should be or the way things have always been. Third, I'm seeing that change is attainable for anyone because I'm witnessing things at work within my own self, physically, mentally, and spiritually, by addressing my own atomic habits. Fourth, I'm experiencing the peace of forgiveness through truly trying to know others, and I'm realizing that although we are all broken, we still have a light within, which is a reminder that judgment is not for you or me to cast. And lastly, but most importantly, I'm beginning to learn that when we love to learn, we greatly expand our ability to learn to love. And there's something kind of special about those daily walks I take to reflect on all these things I've just mentioned. A majority of them happen on a figure-8 path within my home after the lights go down. When I realized this, the symbol of infinity, it became my reminder that love is forever, in the lightness and in the darkness. I hope you've enjoyed this backstory behind my demo release of when the lights go down. As you listen to it, I hope it helps you reflect upon your own attentiveness to connection, whether it's from within, to your partner and or closest friends, to your children, or simply to the world around you.